I'm just going to mention one or two of the books that I found useful in developing an understanding of how we read and apply the Bible. The Bible. So let me just run through it. Just going to give you 5 books, and I'll put the notes down in the comments section, so you can take note of the notes. Okay, the first one here is this one, The Bible as Literature and Introduction. So this is plenty deep enough for me because it gives you a really good context from which to work. So there's a lot of history in here and how the Bible, specifically the Hebrew Bible, was translated within the context of that particular history and the formation of the canon. So this is really good, detailed, serious study of the historical context of where this literature that we call the Bible developed. Okay, so that's the first one. And just while we're on to this, this is an older one that I've had for a long time. And it's from a particular point of view. This is Carl Henry is the editor, and that will give you maybe a clue that this is, you might say, old-fashioned mainstream evangelical, or what they used to call conservative evangelical perspective on the Bible. All right, revelation of the Bible. But there's still some really good articles from different scholars, such as F.F. Bruce, Merrill Tenney, and Jeffrey Bromley. Lots of very good side issues on what the idea of revelation is and how that applies to the different books of the Bible. So I continue to find it useful. And one more, which is rather more on the scholarly side, I guess, well, it is to me, it's called One Bible, Many Voices, Different Approaches to Biblical Studies. And this will introduce you to options. It's like a library of options, different approaches, different slants, different perspectives on the same literature. So we can look at the Bible textually, theologically. We can look at it from a feminist perspective. We can look at it from, it just goes on and on, the different types of reading of the Bible, historical, literary, all of those are valid. And it's like finding lines, intersecting lines. And so I need to know the historical framework, but I also need to know the literary context and also the cultural, what was happening in the culture, how culture was developing, how theology itself was developing. So these are the many voices that speak into our one Bible. That's really good, Gillingham's. Okay, and this one is Scott Duval and J. Daniel Hayes is much more practical. This is called Grasping God's Word, a hands-on approach to reading, interpreting, and applying the Bible. So all of these are not that expensive. If you're ready to buy them secondhand, just look them up on Google them, and you will find them at a couple of quid each. Honestly, they're really worth getting. But still, I think the best one, and the one I use all the time for these kind of studies, is Gordon Fee and Douglas Stewart's How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth. This is really good resource book because it takes you through the whole lot and the different approaches. It skimps on some of the backgrounds that these other books provide, but because it's only a short book comparatively. Okay, so there you go. There's my top 5. They're helpful and give you a really good starting point for understanding the Bible. Okay, hope that helps.